So let's continue with the stuff we did the previous time. And well, we forgot to add the items, and I mean the consumable items. So let's go and fix that. Let's open up the consumables scribable object and the consumable class, and we basically don't need this anymore since we're going with the logic we went last time. Okay, but of course we also need to go into our inventory manager, well, we are already here, and fix our random placement. So basically this is unnecessary anymore. Delete that. We don't have any target scale again, so delete this as well. Or actually, if we want to be entirely correct, instead of deleting those, we can just assign them to 0, 0. Which of course means we need to do the same thing over here, so we also need to know if it's on the left hand or the right hand. Well, no, the consumable items are always on the right hand, so yeah, that was. So, 1, 2, 3, 0. Vector 3, 0. Instance, target scale, we don't want any of this. And the target scale now will turn into vector 3, 1. Okay, so we have our items. I've already fixed mine, so you probably need to fix yours. I guess I spoke too soon. Let's clear that, and we don't want this anymore. Delete this one as well. This will fix our errors. And yeah, basically this is unnecessary. This class is not needed anymore. Let's compile. And okay, well, yeah, maybe that didn't work exactly as planned, although I think it's the placement that's wrong, to be honest. So let's open up this. Yeah, that was the issue. I'm going to scale it up, and then oops, I don't want to scale this up, I want to scale this. Bring this up, maybe make it a little bit less universal, okay, and bring it back. Apply. I'm going to take the same values for the other item, paste, and apply. Let's close this and hit play. Okay, and now yeah, we need a little bit better placement, but it works. So there's also two more small changes I did off camera, and we don't want this class anymore, so ignore it. The changes I did was on the action manager. Is basically this: when you are getting an action step, okay, we forgot to check for our combo steps if it's null or not. And even if it's not null, we still need to check if if our index is going to go over the array, and if it is, then return our first step and the same thing if the combo steps were null. Okay, this will just eliminate a small error we had. The other thing I did is on our animator hook, and you can see it over here. Okay, this was way too fast because we were adding the same physics, you know, the physics gravity on every frame. We don't want that. We're just going to leave a rigid body with any velocity it already has. Okay, simple enough. So let's go and do the changes we have over here. Deplete stamina when sprinting. This should be easy to do. Let's go on to our state manager. Okay, and let's call labs. I think we have. So, and let's see. We have a flag that says we are running. Okay, I'm just going to look to see if we have any. If we already have a place where we, yeah. It's basically this. Well, let's make one more, I guess. Yeah, this will have worked, but it doesn't. Let's see. Start the update. Okay, maybe we need to add more, I guess. Let's make it so we subtract 15, I guess. It's not that, and let's see, maybe we're not even coming in here. Backlog. Okay. I think we don't, for health and focus, yeah, we need that, but the stamina can't go below 0. It shouldn't really matter. And yeah, we're not even going in there. And let's see why. What's happening? Let's debug both the run. Yeah, from what I can see, run doesn't even open. Okay. So it's not the run we need to use. Okay. Oh, we're not using that. Let's go into our input handler and let's find the logic basically, and this will be how I get inputs, and on the update stage of the move amount. I think this might be the issue. We are going there, but the run is still false, stays false. unless we're turning it somewhere else false. Let's see. Yeah, this probably. This will be below, and after we have monitor our stats as well, then we reset our input and then go to UI manager, etc. Let's remove the bug logs, we don't need them. Save, minimize, hit play. And yeah, now we're running and we're also depleting stamina. Okay, so we can scratch that off the list. Let's see the next one, which is our consumable items appear when we are changing the weapons. Okay, so this will be easy to fix. We are on state manager. Let's pin this and let's go on our tick. Okay, it's I think it's this that's doing the work, and yeah, it is using item. Okay, let's turn this into false. Minimize, hit play. Oh, that's for the weapons. So it's not that. We want the that's the weapon model. Not close weapons. Using item. It's this one. And I'm just going to take this. I'm going to turn this to false. And it should be now that it just stays closed all the time. And yeah, that's true. Let's change that then. Let's find the correct way to do this using item, but we need to know if this is an actual item we want to use and not when we are switching weapons. And let's see how we can use this. Well, this is easy to fix. Let's do another boolean over here and say public bool enable item. Take that and just place it over here. And we're going to do the same thing as the using item. We're going to let boolean from the animator to tell us if we want to have the item show or not. Okay, so animator parameters, let's say over here public static string enable item. Close that, go back, static strings, enable item, save, minimize, animator, And into our interactions, we have bestus, use item, change weapon. So bestus is going to be keep bool. We need to add the new boolean as well. Enable item. Bestus enable item will be true. Reset on exit. Bool enable item true and reset on exit. If you want to be entirely safe, you can also do enable item over here and just keep it without this false, but we might want to use this into another layer, so this could bring a few problems in the future, so let's delete that for now. Hit play, let's test this. It works now, and when we are changing weapons it doesn't anymore, so okay, so there's that as well. And the rest is again some UI work, so let's find them. This one's now update the title, as you can see. Oops. But the items don't update the title, so we have to fix that as well. Close that. Open this. Let's find our inventory UI, which is over here, and we have our slot movement and inventory movement. I think it's the inventory movement. And let's see. Actually, I want to change the input for our UI and make it exactly like Dark Souls, which is, instead of using vertical and horizontal, we're going to use the D-pad for that. So let's fix that as well. Instead of using the vertical, we're going to say input D up, input D down, input D left, and input D right. Okay. Let's do the same for slot movement. Well, actually, let's copy paste it. And we're doing the same thing again. However, we still haven't fixed our problem. Let's find it. This is going to load everything. Actually, to find a problem, to fix our problem, let's find where we have placed the what we want to update, basically. So it will be equipment left, inventory. I think it's the current item. Open this up, item name. Yeah, it's the current item. Inventory UI. So it's under equipment left, current item. Go definition, current item, find all references, and you can see we have it on load weapon item. We also want this into load item from slot, load consumable item, which is over here, and you can see it doesn't really have anything. So let's paste this, the item name. Yeah, we should do it exactly just like this, item name. Icon. Let's see how we did it on the weapon. Yeah, we want all of this except the stats. Can delete that later. Paste it down here, remove the stats, remove the items, they don't matter. Change this to consumable, and this will be now get consumable con item. The icon, where do we take the icon? The icon is the icon base. Yeah, it's the current equipment. So current equipment slot as well. Change that icon.id. This will be item ID. Item ID. Oops. And we're changing the name of the equipment. Let's do the same for the armor. Load armor item. And it should be almost exactly the same as this. But this will now be equipment. And yeah, should only be equipment, I guess. Load, oops, wrong one. This is the one we want, equipment, item name, okay. Over here we have the equipment, load armor item, pass the resource manager, and it will do the job. It's supposed to minimize, delete this one as well. We don't really need it. Okay, close the inventory, hit play. We now move with the D-pad, so we are free to move inside the game, and we can actually attack too, and we can also move on the inventory. Okay, and you can see, well, it actually doesn't update. Yeah, we forgot something, I guess. Or, oh yeah, I know what it is. The icon we are taking, it shouldn't be the current equipment sold, it should be the current inventory icon. And it's already the icon base, so we only need to change the ID. And this one should be this as well. Minimize, test it again. Yeah, we'll see what it is. Okay, so if current inventory icon equals null, return. And over here, if current inventory icon equals null, return. As you can see, since these two only change, we could encapsulate it a bit more, but you know, who cares? Close that, hit play. Okay, now it updates inside inside the inventory screen, but it doesn't update into the equipment slots. Yeah, I guess it doesn't update into all. Let's see what we forgot to do. add weapon item, should be over here, gets the instance, the item, it updates the center overlay. Okay, we should also fix this. Okay, okay. Okay, so let's go back. You're checking the slot type, the load weapon item. Okay, so let's also pass the icon from here. And I guess we should just encapsulate this. So we should do update item slot. Oh no. Item slot info. Something like that. And we want to use, not take. We need the item. We need the item type, and yeah, I think for now this will be enough. So for example, let's take all of this, let's paste it down here. Yeah, let's pass the resource manager as well. Item type. So this is not, actually these two are not necessary anymore. And let's pass the icon. And the icon should be over here. Icon, the item type now is going to be the T we're passing. Okay, so this will do the same thing with much less code. So equipment, RM, the icon we have, and item type should be equipment. RM, icon, item type, consumables. Minimize, hit play. Yeah, now it works, but it doesn't work onto, and we have something over here. Yeah, ignore this for now. Let's add one of these over here. So it works, so it's only the armor that doesn't update. So let's fix that as well. So let's first check that we actually we are changing the name for the armor. And yeah, we are. I mean, why not? Forest, yeah, okay. So there's that. Which means our problem is probably maybe from over here. Let's see. File references. Load item slot, current equipment slot. Get, oh. Yeah, that's not going to work. We need the item instance, we need to be taking it from let's do a switch with our type. We don't want the weapons, we handle them differently. We need the rest. So equipment, actually let's make this above, start as null. Then we're going to assign it. If it's a consumable, it's going to be from over here, change this to get armor item. Otherwise, yeah, everything else should be fine. Save, minimize, hit play. And now it works as it should. Okay. Awesome. So, and let's make it so if we are here and hit start again and hit start again, as you can see, we are no longer into the equipment slots, but we are still left on the inventory, and we don't want that. So when we change, or basically when we open the UI again, we should do, or actually, you know what, when we close the UI, we should say is switching to be false and change to switching. I think that should be enough. Yeah. Hit play. Okay, so that's fixed as well. Let's make sure we don't have any garbage. Okay, it's okay. Awesome. So, oops, there is a few stuff that we haven't again done. Basically, the stuff that has to do with updating the information pages, but I believe nobody is going to find that interesting. But you know, if you want to do this, it's basically the same idea as you do as we update the information for our swords. Okay, since we don't have any concrete info on the equipment, let's postpone that into updating the UI and let's do something more interesting, I guess, until we have more. If you want to do this, it's basically the same idea of what we were doing right now, which is updating the item slot info, which is here. And let's say, for example, that you want, okay, we have the overlay, which will be somewhere to our inventory. We have the sender overlay. Okay, so let's make it, if it's on the equipment page, we also update this sender overlay, or we always open the sender overlay. Okay, so over here we're going to say sender overlay set active false, and if it's the equipment, we're going to be opening it. Sender overlay set active true. Of course, we need to also update the sender overlay. Let's see. Close that. Collapse everything. Let's go to the top. And it's under C overlay. And you can see what we're doing over here. So if I take the update sender overlay, this function, and drop it after we have found our item, we can say it's going to update that one. But let's do one more thing. Let's add a small boolean on the top. Let's make, yeah, it doesn't need to be public, bool, and sender overlay is open. So we're going to go down, down, down where we were, sender overlay, and we're going to put that if sender overlay is false, not sender overlay is false, sender overlay is open is false, then only then you're going to be setting that to false and reopening it again on the equipment. Okay, so if we now go into our handle input over here, we can see if you press the B input and if you are switching, you are going to go back into switching, otherwise it's going to close the UI, or actually, yeah, that's the B input. We want the X input. Okay, so if you are switching, the X input doesn't go back, but it goes and just opens the sender overlay. So sender overlay is open will be the opposite of your sender overlay is open, and then again sender overlay set active, sender overlay is open. Let's try it now. Okay, you can see, of course, we write some description and name, but you can see we also update this as well. If we go back and if we go now into one of our weapons, we can press X and it will switch into the sender overlay and the general area or the general status area. Okay, pretty simple, and I think we could actually get away with it if we open the sender overlay with our items as well. So let's do that too, and let's say center overlay. Okay, let's make this as well for the consumables. The spells we shouldn't really have to care because we are changing them from a different UI screen. So let's hit play. Okay, and we now have a nice inventory. Awesome. So let's say now we want to actually pick up an item, or destroy an item, I guess. But let's start with the pickup. Let's create an empty cube or something like that. It doesn't really matter. Place it somewhere over here. Anything should do. I'm going to delete the box collider and I'm going to write a new script. Let's go into, I guess, let's go into items, create folder, not folder, create script, pickable item, not at the namespace. Now we should do an item manager in the future, but for right now, this will work fine as well. And we want to have the target transform, which is basically our player, and public string item ID. Okay, because of the way we have set up our system with our items, we only need to No, actually, let's also add the item type. It's going to make things simpler. And type, or better get item type. Okay, close that. And we're going to do public void. Actually, no, we're not going to do any of that. We can say, or you know what, let's not do this in here. Let's leave this way. Close that. And we're going to make another script that's going to sit onto our controller. Namespace save. Okay, and we're just going to add a list of pickable items, or pickable items equals new list pickable item. Then we're going to have a public pickable item candidate, and we want a tick, which in that tick we're going to do a for loop with all our pick items, and basically we're going to do a check float distance pick items I to transform dot position with our own transform dot position. Okay, so if distance is lower than 2, let's go with 2, then the item candidate, actually, you know what, this will also be a list. Pickable item. Although, you know, it's pretty rare that you have more than one item. Actually, no, it isn't. You might sometimes pick up more than one, so we're going to modify the pickable item a bit and do that. Then the item candidate is going to be to add item candidate dot add pick items I, if you are not already in, if not item candidate dot contains pick items I, else if not item, if item candidate dot contains pick items I, then remove it, item candidate dot remove pick items I. Here's the thing though, we don't have to run this on every frame. We don't even have to run this on every 10 frames. So if we do, let's add an integer over here. I'm going to say frame count. Let's make a public then, public integer, frame check. Let's assign it to 15. So we're going to say if frame count is lower than your frame check, simply return. Otherwise, frame count will be 0. Yeah, will be 0. And then it's going to run this, and then so we don't really go through the list more than we have to. We're only doing this every 15 frames. Okay, let's add this into the inventory manager. I guess it's okay, let's not add it into inventory manager, let's add it onto the state manager. Let's add it above. Hide inspector, public pickable items manager, pick manager, on init, get component, pickable items manager, and yeah, we don't have to do any init. For the pick manager, we can now do not on our fixed tick, we can just go onto our tick, okay, and do this basically pick manager dot tick. Now we need one more thing. Actually, we need quite a few more things. So in here we have our pickable item. Let's create a new class, and we're going to say class item or pick items item container. We're going to serialize this. And over here we're going to add a string item ID, item type, item type, and we don't need the target anymore. We're just going to say public pick item container. It can be an array, and we can say items. Okay, so into our input handler, we can do a check basically. Let's find let's close all of this and say on update. Yeah, we can do this on the update, it shouldn't really matter. Before we reset our inputs and all that, we can just check if, let's add it on the else of the inventory UI though, and we can say if states dot pickable manager dot item candidate dot count is greater than 0, then that means we have an item to pick. So let's add a debug log for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into my controller, state manager, not state manager, let's add the pickable items manager, and I'm going to lock this, and I'm just going to drag and drop for now my cube, which is this, or I think it was. We first need to add the pickable item and then go onto our controller and drag and drop this. In the future though, when we have a level manager which is going to be basically loading the sections for our level, okay, we can take the items from there and automatically load them into the list. Okay, and we of course need to add a few items over here. So let's add, I guess, 3 items. Okay, let's leave this at that, and let's check if our debug logic works, and it doesn't. controller. Let's check the backlog. Oh, yeah. We forgot one thing onto. Let's pin this. On the frame check, if the frame count is lower than our frame check, we also need to add on our frame count, otherwise it's never going to change. Save, minimize, play. Okay, so this now tells us that and you can see that even 15 frames is way too much. We can even spare a lot more. So, I don't think we have the A on something, yeah. So we're going to use the A to actually pick up our items. And let's see. We have frame count, we have, no, this works. Okay, let's go into our input handler. The backlog, okay. Remove that and let's say void pickup candidate items. And over here we can simply say if A input pick up candidate items. Okay, and of course A input should be false afterwards. So for pickable, or you know what, let's do this directly into the pickable items container. We need an index to see. No, actually this shouldn't be a list now that I think of it. Let's delete that. We still want this to be public. Item candidate. So basically this now should be item candidate equals pick items I, else item, if item candidate equals pick items I, item candidate equals null. Okay, so on our input handler now we don't have a list, so we simply check if it's not null. Okay, and then pick up candidate items. Pick up candidate items, we're basically going to say public so pick candidate. Okay, so let's make sure we have a candidate, and for each, or not for each, item candidate dot item length. Let's save the item candidate somewhere, the container. Let's call it C, item candidate items I, and then we're going to do a switch with C dot item type. Unfortunately, okay, we need the inventory manager as well, so let's pass the inventory from here and we'll just take it from the state manager, because why not? Inventory. Okay, if it's a weapon, we're going to say inventory dot Actually, you know what? We don't even need the inventory manager, since we keep everything to the season manager. Yeah, I guess it's not really that wise to use this for all of them, so we're going to do this season manager as season manager singleton, and then we're going to s let's create some from over here. Init empties. Okay, we have the add armor item, as you can see. Yeah, okay, we need to encapsulate a few more stuff, I guess. Add armor item. Let's see, maybe we already have this. No, we don't. Okay, so let's write this void add item. We need the ID and the type item type T, and we're going to do the switch in here with our item type. If it's a weapon, it means we need to add this into our weapons list, which also need to make a unique ID for our weapon. And yeah, let's do this then. So it's a weapon items dot add the ID weapon although, you know what, get item, get weapon item. Let's see, I think we'll do this on the awake. Q weapon items. Yeah, we basically need this. Take this, copy it, paste it down here. We add it on our weapon items. We already have the ID, which is above. ID, unique ID is going to be whatever is left or previously into our index, and then we're adding it on our index. Let's do the same for the consumables. Which is this. New item inventory instance. Let's make it like this. This will now be the ID. Consumable item. Okay. Consumable, and the equipment, which is the armor, it's slightly more complicated. And that is because we want to know also the armor type. Should be somewhere, yeah, I guess. Oh, actually, if we use armor type, yeah, it just does this automatically. So let's just take add armor type, equipment, add armor type, and only pass the ID. Which also means we don't even need this. We need only this. This will be public though. Public, add item. Over here we don't need this now. Okay, and we should only do s dot add item c dot item ID and c dot item type, and it will do the job for us. After we do that, we need to destroy, of course, the item candidate. Destroy item candidate dot game object. Okay, and of course item candidate is now null. You know, you can destroy it or you can pull it, do whatever you want there. Minimize. So let's go into our game manager. I'm going to let's get out of the debug view. I'm going to clear everything on my inventory and only leave my starting gear. Okay, my equipment gear. And I'm going to go, let's rename this one to pickable item. We have all of this. So the first item ID, let's just say Viking helmet. Let's add the rapier. The Viking helmet is of course an equipment rapier, and let's add the round shield, I guess. Round shield, which is also a weapon. I want to make sure the round shield ID is correct. Yeah, it wasn't. Shield. Pickable items. Shield. Save. Hit play. Let's see our inventory. Okay, I only have my 2 swords. And actually no, we haven't done everything yet. Okay, pick candidate, input handler, pick up candidate items. This is unnecessary anymore. We're going to go states dot pick manager dot pick candidate. We're going to add a debug log over here and say can pick up. And we will also say bug log picked up. Let's see what we do with the RA input. Okay, it has get button. Let's add it on get button up because it's going to simplify a few things. Minimize, hit play. Okay, we have only my 2 swords. Let's go over there. Can pick up. Picked up. We have missing references as missing reference. Let's see why this happened. Oh, yeah, because we also need to remove it from our pickable items. So before we destroy this, we are going to do if pick items dot contains. Yeah, I guess it's unnecessary. We already know it contains this. But anyway, item candidate pick items dot remove item candidate. Save. Let's try it again now. can pick up, picked up, and now you will see that I have my new items. Okay, so this is exactly how it works on Dark Souls as well. We only need to be passing the ID and to help us with the categorizing, you know, pass the item type as well. Okay, and I think we also had the helmet. Pretty cool. Since we are here and we have time, let's create the canvas for that as well. We have our inventory. Let's turn to 2D. Let's open this up and create. Yeah, I guess let's create an empty. Actually, you know what? I want to go into my inventory and I'm going to duplicate the bottom bar. Have a menu and yeah, okay, let's create an empty then. Game object. I want this to be anchored down. Bring this down here, bring back up the bottom bar. Bring this to the center, or well, try to find the center, I guess. Somewhere down here, probably. Okay, this will also serve as our announcement, so you know when you have invasions, stuff like that. Let's rename this to backdrop. Let's call the game object announcement, whatever. We need a text. Let's copy one of our other texts. Inventory, top bar. Let's get the title. Maybe it's a little bit too big. 35. I want to anchor this like that. Position should be 0. Let's make it 30. No, still too big. 25. Close that. Something like that, I guess. This is going to be item name. I think this is still, no, okay, this is correct. This is enough. Item name. And action type. Okay. At least for now, since we only have the pickup items, we're going to say, let's make this to 20. Pickup item, pickup A. Okay. Okay, so let's create a new script that will handle this as well. Or I guess we could, yeah, let's not, let's see what we have into our UI manager and I'll decide from there. Okay, let's add it into our UI manager. I want to make an enum first, public enum, and this one is going to be action UI action type. Okay, so we can have pickup, interact, open, although I guess open and interact is still the same thing. Talk, we have all that. Okay. We're only going to see the pickup for now. Let's see. Do we have? Yeah, we have our tick. We have our game UI. Okay. So I want to make. Let's make public game object announcement or announce card, let's call it that. We want the image for the background. We also want the text itself. This will be the item name, or let's call this AC, which stands for announce card, and public text. This is going to be AC action type. Okay. So let's say, for example, public void pick open announce type, and this will be open announce type. Let's pass the UI action type as a T and do a switch with RT. Well, I want the pickup. No, actually it doesn't have. Yeah, they don't include the item name, now that I think of this. So yeah, we're not going to need the item name, we're only going to need the action type name, I guess. Let's think. Action type. Yeah, they don't include the name for sure, so we're only going to use the action type. And let's say if it's a pickup, you can say AC action type equals, save it over here, or we can just save it on our static strings. These are functions, static strings, and UI interactions. So public static string UI action UIC pick, and this can be UI AC pickup item, and hard code this to A. You can of course use these. Actually, you know what? Let's make this like this. Get pickup item plus A. What the A stands for is basically the input we have over here. So, you know, it's going to write A for now. And this will be a return, semicolon, and close that. Okay, so take this back to our UI manager. Down here, static strings dot AC UI AC pick. And this is the action type dot text. We also need the same thing. Let's do the same thing for the rest. Static string UI AC talk. And again, public static string UI AC open. I'm basically just writing random stuff. Open plus A. Okay, and we'll see what anything else we need to add in the future. We can come in here and add it. UI manager. Okay, action type, text, UI, opened, UI, doc. And you can also add the direct. And after we have updated our open announce, we can simply open the announce card. Announce card, set active, true. Okay. Can also do a public void close announce type, which is just going to do false. This is going to be a bit rough at the moment. We'll fix that. We're just going to add an animation there. Since we don't need the item name, let's ignore that. Let's bring the action type above. Let's crunch this a little bit because I think it's way too much. Something like that. So game manager, let's find our UI manager. UI manager. Let's drop the announce card. We have the backdrop. We're not going to need the background. And update the action type. On start, announce card set active false. And onto our input handler now. Let's delete this. Can pick up. We're simply going to say UI manager open announce type. And this is the pickup. Okay. Now, of course, it's a little bit more sophisticated than that, because you might have both an item and a talk and an interact at the same time, and it switches. But until we have to worry about that, this is going to work too. The opposite of that should now be close announce type. And if the UI, if we are in the menu, we should do UI manager close announce type as well. Minimize, let's hit play. Let's go over there. Okay, pick up item and it closes. Pick up item and it closes. Pick up item and it closes. So and yeah, I'm trying to think. Okay, let's make this, although this might be, no, let's do this. Let's go on the UI manager and where is it? UI manager, we don't want the background, and I'm going to add in its place an animator announce card anim, and when I'm opening the announce card, after I've updated the text, I'm going to also say announce card anim dot play. Let's write start. And no, let's actually Okay, so we're going to say if announce card dot is not active in the hierarchy, then open it and play the animation. Otherwise we don't want to mess with our animation. And same thing over here, if announce card dot active in hierarchy, close it. And actually we don't want to close it. Yeah, that's not going to work either. Actually, you know what? Let's ignore this. Let's ignore the animator. It's working fine. Delete that. Delete this as well. And delete the animation, the animator. Anyway, we'll worry about it when we have to worry about it. Okay, play. And let's go over there. Pick up item. We've picked up our items. Now, we need to do one more thing, which is, of course, show which items we can pick up. Which means copy that, place it right above over here. So, well, actually, you know what? Let's make this announcement card. Okay, I'm going to go into my UI manager and drop this now to the announcement card. I'm going to bring the announcement card though right on the center of this, and I'm going to make another empty down here, which I want to place right above this. Should be up here. I want to copy my announcement card, zero this in. Okay, that's way too high. Actually, I think it's just the way. Okay, let's add a vertical layer, or a grid layout group as it is. This will be around 1000. We want to change the child alignment to middle center. The Y to this should be, let's make this 70, and let's make also this 70. Oops, for this we want this to be 70. Okay, let's add spacing around 5 on the Y. Let's duplicate this. This is the opposite of what we want, so we need to do this start corner lower left. Okay, and they go upwards as we go. We're going to, of course, limit this to around 5. Announce card. This will be the maximum we have, and to this we're going to say item name, and we're also going to add another empty with an image, and let's add an icon down here. Let's use our sword or the great sword, whatever. Lower this up and place it down here. Let's make this a vertical layout group. Oh no, actually it was fine as it was. This will be centered, and this will be centered as well. Okay, 0, 0, icon object. icon or just icon. Bring it up here, crunch it a little bit. The item name, let's make it that they are sitting over here. Change this to item name. Yeah, this will work. Okay, let's delete the other announcement cards though. We have our item name. And okay, let's create a new class. Let's say announce card. And let's do public image. We need the Unity, the UI, using Unity UI, public image, the icon, and of course public text, item name. Save that. Let's go onto our UI manager though. UI manager, and you know what? We already have. We already know the maximum we can have. It's just 5. It's 5 of these. So let's just create them beforehand. So this will be announce card and cards, and yeah, I guess we should rename this into interact card. Interact card. These are our announcements cards. We should also have an index as well. Announce type, and over here we should do public void open, or maybe yet add announce card or item card, or you know, whatever. Add the item. So announce card, AC index, okay. AC index plus plus, but we're going to say AC or uncards dot AC index set active. Oops. Game object set active to true, but in cards AC index dot item name I dot item name, and on cards AC index dot icon item name dot text icon dot I dot icon, and yeah, this will be dot sprite dot icon. AC index, if AC index is greater than 5, AC index set it back to 0. Okay, so over here, when we are adding an item, I think it was on the, yeah, let's go to season manager. Item, let's find this. Okay. We're adding an item. We should probably find also the actual item itself, I guess. Okay, so let's do that then. We have item I equals rm dot get or get item. Okay, we have the ID for the item and we want to pass actually the ID. Yeah, it's the thing, and we also have the pass, the T. So now we can do UI manager singleton dot add announce card, and we have the item, and we're going to pass the item. Okay, and this of course needs to close as well. And for that to happen, on our input handler, if we go, let's find our A input. If there is no item candidate, and if A input, then simply go. Yeah, it should help if we make another function over here and say public void close cards, and simply for the announcement cards dot length or count and cards dot game object set active false. So let's go back to handler, close cards. Oops. UI manager, close cards, A input equals false. Save, minimize. Oops. Let's create then the 5 cards we want. So this, we need to have this announce card, pass the item name, pass the icon, and create 5 of these, 4 and 5, and add them back into our UI manager. Lock this. Close that. Announce per cards. Take all of this. Drag and drop this down here. Unlock. Let's also make it so it closes on start. The UI manager on start. Oops. Close cards and close announce type. Minimize, hit play. Okay, we forgot something. Oh yeah, we need to reassign the interact card because we changed the name, and this will be interact card. Drag this over here. Let's rename this as well. Minimize, clear, hit play. Okay, pick up item. It says what item we've picked up, and the next time we hit the A button, it's going to close. Nice. So, and I think this will be a good point to close this. So you know what to do. If you don't know, then subscribe, then like, and also in the description you find some more interesting stuff. Description is around over there. And so I'll see you next time.